Be
actually
like that
go
sometimes.
ahead
All
and
right.
speaking of YouTube too, but I'm gonna mute it.
Look, she don't even know she lied. What's popping, y'all? Welcome back to Potheads. We going like we never, we back like we never left. That part. Listen, you can tell I'm already there. I'm tired. So this episode, we have a very special guest, Saint Valentine. And you know what? Valentine, what is your real fucking name? I was thinking about that. I'm sitting on the floor. I'm like, what is this child real name? I know she told me, but I'm high. I don't
My
remember.
real name is I go by Taj, but my real name is
Taj.
Taja. Taja.
So your real name is Taja. Okay,
Yeah,
okay, okay, okay. I was like,
Taja.
what is I knew this, but I didn't know. I was like,
Because I really never talk about my real name. Like I never ever even mention it.
you don't, and I be like, I just know her by Saint. That's it. Who is she? Saint. You know what I'm saying? That's who you are to me. But introduce yourself.
You can tell
So
I'm already there.
welcome to Potheads, my love. I'm so excited to have you. Listen, your fucking memes, your fucking reels, they giving me life. The one I can't get it out of my head. The one where you out of weed, you're like weed. That's funny.
I've been thinking about well, not thinking about it, but I've been planning so much content as far as like reels and TikToks and stuff like that. Just because I see like people really like them, and I actually realize I am kind of fucking hilarious.
You are that shit was hilarious a bit. Like I be at the bottom of the pack trying to scrub out all of
You
the
trying to in the grinder, trying to scrape out the teeth and everything,
yo,
like
rest of the kid.
ready to kill the weed man. Like, bro,
when you finish, like, let me get the
where
rest
is
of
you at? I'm about to pull up at your house. I'm about to pull up at your grandma's house and make her call you.
I got a homeboy that's like that. I be
I'm
so
about
mad at him. He be
to
like,
call
so
you.
I got a question. How do you contact your wee man? So let me tell you how I contact my wee man. So I'm a texter, which you shouldn't do it. Okay, first off, this is CBD man. Let's say that for where I'm at. But
I like to call him the green man. The
okay,
green
the green man. Okay, listen. So I'm a texter. I'll text you, and I really like. I don't have real weed etiquette. I'll just be like, I could, but I just really don't be worried about it. So I'll be like, give me $30, give me $20, give me $40. I don't know if I'm getting a gram. I don't know if I'm getting 3 grams. I don't know if I'm getting 2.5 grams. So that's but I trust my weed man. So how my green man. So how you feel about that?
It's kind of the same thing. I always hit him with the yurt and then see if he around.
Yeah, you around?
Or that, like you around and he'll be like, yeah, what you need, and I'll tell him. Usually I'll just be like, just my regular, because I kind of always get the same thing.
Yeah.
Unless I'm like, like kind of like about to do, I call it a project or something like that. But usually I get the same thing, so he always know. And usually he always in one of two spots, and if he's not in the one spot, he's gonna pull up on me. So it's like,
So do your weed man come to you or do you go to them?
So where he's usually at is like down the street from my house. So like if I need to get a wrap or something like that, I'll walk to the store and he's right, he's already kind of like right here. Or if he's not there, he'll just come straight to me, because it's like I like I said, I trust him, so he kind of know where I live, and he know I really light some shit up if he really start giving out my address. Cause
yeah, that part. That part. We don't incriminate ourselves here. Okay, so I got a random question. Have you ever had a weed woman?
Yes,
I've
actually,
never had a weed woman. I'm telling you.
They're a lot more consistent. Like they're better with time
I
management.
can see it. Like Griselda Blanco. Yeah.
But when it comes to stuff like that, because I'm good at finessing my green man into giving me more than what I asked for.
Find you a lesbian weed woman.
But then that'd be too much. Because I prefer, for those who don't know, I am poly and pan, but I do prefer women. But
I didn't know you prefer women. Okay.
Yes. I always tell people, I tweeted about this the other day, and actually I'm a link in my Twitter in the chat. What was I gonna say? Fuck Gemini brain all over
my
the
head brain.
What else to say? Oh, I be saying like I'm actually a bisexual man in a woman's body. So like,
bitch.
so that gets really confusing sometimes. And people think like just because I prefer women that I like masculine. I don't like masculine women though. Like I can't do masculine women. Like I need a
I never had a girly girl though. Listen, I got an infatuation with white girls.
I,
I want to suck a white pussy before I die. That's it.
I fucked with a white girl before, but
Oh my god, how was it? I'm so jealous of you.
it was cool because she let me be like she let me take the lead. When it comes to women,
Okay.
I like to be more
Okay.
masculine. Same,
I
I like
need
really girly
to
girls.
yeah.
But she was boring.
I need a nasty girl. I need
Yeah,
somebody that was this shit.
it was like I was doing all of the work and I
So you
like
like
someone who's
pillow
experienced.
princesses.
I
You
can't
like
fuck with
ones
somebody
that's
who's
gonna
experienced. That's corny. That's boring. It's booty.
mm, not booty. You funny as fuck.
It's booty.
So
You know,
all
it
right,
gotta
so
be.
random question. Do you eat booty? Yes or no?
I have. I go.
So how do you feel about it?
I have. I gotta be drunk and
You gotta
high and all types of crossfaded.
nah, I'm sober. Listen, just give me some booty on Tuesday right before breakfast.
Nah, I'm not gonna lie. It's like it can happen, but then I also gotta really fuck with you. Like I
Okay,
really.
and that's a real okay. That's a real thing. I don't eat everybody ass. I only ate two asses in my life.
I was gonna say I've only done it once. I've only
Okay.
done it once. Not gonna lie, I've only done it once. But again, it was like it was a threesome.
Okay.
So
Okay.
it was like it was me like having sex with men independently doesn't excite me. So it was like a me just trying to like keep it going for myself for the
Okay.
most part.
She said I was trying to. She was like rubbing one out. She was like, let's keep this. Let's throw curveball in this
Yeah,
bitch.
like just let's add something else in here, and it actually started kind of like an argument in a small way because he kind of got like pushed out of the situation.
Because the other one was feeling it. Because you ate that thing so good, you was
And
like,
she
I
don't
gotta
even
fuck
like
it.
girls. That's the bad part about it. Did him bad, but
It's like that, and that's the way it is.
and this is why I say I'm a bisexual man in a woman's body because
Okay.
men can't handle me either.
I don't know. I've decided on asexuality. I'm over it all. I just want to be asexual. I adore a good pounding. I enjoy sucking a good clit, but the things that the people that they're attached to annoy me.
Yeah,
Like you
when it
humans
gets down to
annoy
like
me.
personality, I'm more attracted to myself than I am to anybody else.
Yeah, I know, and that's so
So
horrible. Like I'd be like, oh, bitch, you're so awesome. You know.
like, if I could just have sex with myself, that'd be great.
Yes. But see, that's the thing too. So if I gotta, and then after this, we gotta jump into the show because we just started talking. But like, I feel like that. Like as I've gotten older, I was a ugly duckling. And then I just kind of bloomed a little bit and loved myself a little bit. And in that, I went through like a whole sexual phase when I was a kid. I used to masturbate a lot. I could
Mm.
squirt as a kid, all of that good shit. But as I got older, I thought, I kind of was body shamed for that. I just thought it was a bad thing to touch yourself and pleasure yourself. But
Yeah.
as I got older and I got out of the relationships that I was in, I was celibate. So I was like, I don't want to have sex, but girl, I had to catch that nut. So I learned how to really, 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 really pleasure myself. And that's the most dangerous thing you could do
It
is,
is.
is make yourself come hard. Like,
I
you
had
know
a
how
wand at one point, and I wouldn't have sex because like it would just be me and my wand, and it had like these crazy settings, and I would just see like it got like I almost yeah, it would get so bad to the point where like I had to at some point I had to just throw it away because it was AI was taking over my life. That's all I'm saying.
And so I was little, I was young, I didn't know much about sex. I grew up in like a Christian family, so I found out I had a little massager, and I just put it down there, and that bill went fast. I was like, "Oh shit!" So
Yeah.
yeah. But you know what? I don't like toys. I only use toys if a person is around. If I'm with another person, but by myself, nah, not so much. Not much.
Actually, fun fact, I won't call it celibate, but I actually haven't had sex for like 6 months.
Mm.
And I also don't allow myself to masturbate. Um and it's it actually has a lot to do with like what we're gonna talk about today. And just like overall just learning how to like optimize and maximize my magic. Because I find that when I engage in any type of sexual activity, I over like I have Gemini, Venus, and Mars in the 12th house. So like I'll overdo it. Like I'll just overdo it to the point where like I'm so drained to where I can't do anything else. And so I find that
Me
when
too.
I deprive myself, it's like I'm so fucking productive. And like anytime I do want to like masturbate or have sex or anything like that, I literally put all of that energy into a project and then it's like bow, like like it just
And so that's interesting because I'm actually kind of the exact opposite. So I work so much that I have to force myself to relax. So it's like right now, I say for the past couple maybe 6 to 8 months, I've been masturbating until I can't anymore, like until I'm exhausted. But like, I'm serious, like bitch, I can't do nothing but go to fucking sleep.
and that's another thing. I'm good at going to sleep and I'll be asleep for mad long. And it's just like I literally didn't do anything today. Oh, because I masturbated once. And
See, and that's my thing. Like, I'm so nasty with myself. Like, and that's what when I say I want women to be in love with themselves, I mean like this. Like, I'll just be in caught that. Like, I was telling my homeboy, I'll just be in caught that fresh nut. So I like to masturbate butt ass naked. So one day I walked past the wall and it was like noon, bitch, and that shadow caught me, and I saw how fine I was. I had to go masturbate again.
like, ooh, don't let it be bald. Then it be bald. The hand be like, no, don't do it.
Hell, bitch. My fucking right hand strong as fuck. Do not. I can fuck some shit up with this middle finger, bitch. You don't even know.
Crazy thing is, when I'm masturbating, I don't like penetration.
Me neither.
Like,
I do. I
penetrate
don't
myself.
penetrate at all. Like I can't. Like I just gotta rub that thing until. Woo.
Flip the bean.
My ex used to call me a DJ.
Feel me? You gotta. You
The best records, my money.
it be like that. It really do be like that. Yeah.
So all right. So let's get into the show. All right. So that was I don't even know how we got there, but we got there. So welcome to Potheads. I'm here with Saint Valentine's Taj. And we about to get it in. So first, I just want you to introduce yourself, and then after you introduce yourself, I'm going to tell everybody what's the game for today. Then we're gonna talk about. I'm gonna let you take the floor, weed as a medium, and then we're gonna philosophically pontificate. And that's one of my most favorite things to do. So, all right. What's up, Taj? Introduce yourself. Who is you?
Hey y'all, so my name is Saint Valentine. Some of y'all might know me as the Venusian love goddess if you actually ever tuned into any of the love mail over here on Mystical Illuminations. What is it? Yeah, and I'm my name Taja means crown. And my full name means crown, the Celtic crown or the crown of love. So that's why I go by Saint Valentine, the Venusian love goddess. Everything I do is about healing, self-love, loving an inner child, loving the beast within you, loving every part of you wholly, purely, and unconditionally. Regardless of what people say. My motto is fuck them people. Feel me? It's like that. Get like that. You gotta find your source for yourself the way that feels most comfortable for you. And I am a YouTube content creator. I actually posted all of my links over in the chat, my link tree in the chat. Also a curator of crystal wands. I make custom crystal wands. So that's one of like the fun things I like to do. But I mostly focus on astrology, tarot, oracle, just like channeling different like philosophical stuff, which is funny that that's part of the show. I'm really big on psychoanalytics. That's like literally the brunt of like everything I do. I do everything from a psychoanalytic space. Mm. Even the most like what seems like outlandish shit. Like even what we were just talking about, like sex. I take everything on in a psychoanalytic way just because that's how my mind works. Gemini.
What's your Mercury in? It's in Gemini?
No, it's in Cancer.
It's in Cancer. Your Mercury's in Cancer?
2. Yeah.
What did you do in a past life? Like God's like, bitch, you're gonna feel everything.
I really don't even want to talk about it. I don't want to say it's embarrassing, but let's just say I was like the if any of you have ever watched Game of Thrones, I was like Viserys. Just think of me as Viserys. So I'm like the person with all of the I'm the Mercury person who just kind of like serves the realm as you know a messenger, and I have all of these little birdies who work for me, and nobody really knows where like my loyalty lies. I'm just I'm just gathering all the information and disseminating it appropriately. Whatever. But yeah, that's a little bit about me. My favorite color is green.
Okay.
I love weed. I love shrooms. I'm a tripper, all that good stuff. Yeah.
That part, y'all heard the lady. I'm so excited to have you on the show. You one of my little boos. I'm always look out for you. I always want you to be great and follow your dreams. You know that. So with that being said, so okay, guys. One, the game for today is if whenever you hear the word weed, take a smoke, take a drink, water, blunt, Molly, perk, whatever it is you're doing tonight, just don't overdo it. Because anything in excess is poison. That and listen, my tolerance might not be your tolerance. Your tolerance probably is not mine. So what I can do, you may not be able to do. But that's neither here or there. We are on potheads. So that's the game. That's the game for the night. So whenever you hear the word weed, hit, drink, smoke, eat something. All right, all right, all right. So, all right. In order to in preparation for the show, I asked Taj to what were some topics, what were some things that she would like to talk about, and she said she would like to talk about weed as a medium. So I'm not. I want you. I'm going to give you the floor on that. What is that? What you mean by that, or whatever?
Okay, so weed as a medium, well, weed as a green medium, literally weed as a medium, like using weed to kind of like be the middleman in your life. You know, when you don't know how to approach something, or you don't feel like doing something, or just literally using weed as your middleman, using weed as your communicator, using weed as your healer, using weed as your curator, your cook, your whatever place in your life that you feel you don't want to occupy at that time, allowing weed to take that place. But also weed as a green medium, weed being a representation of our heart chakra, the green energy, the kind of, even though the sacral is like the center, I think of the heart chakra as the center of everything. And so for all of the stoners out there, y'all know that like when you smoke, you start tapping into like all types of shit that you don't normally like think about, or like shit you wouldn't normally say. You might even cry sometimes for reasons that you don't even fucking know. Like you start caring about shit that doesn't even really matter to you in like your normal life. And so through my process, my personal process of just like learning and healing, as well as being a, a cannabis cultivator, because I do grow weed here in New Jersey.
Okay, that's awesome. Okay.
Weed has become from a friend to a partner, if that makes sense. And with my journey with weed, just to get a little bit, just to share a little bit about my story. And when I was in college, prior to college and high school, I used to be a really bad alcoholic. And so the first time I ever smoked was like my senior year of high school, and I never really did it again because it was like a really bad experience. Somebody actually ended up lacing my weed, whatever. But, so then college, I end up smoking a couple times with my friends, but then like by the end of my freshman year, I was like a full-blown stoner. And throughout that whole summer, I went from never having bought weed ever to buying apes by the end of the summer, being like literally turning into a full-blown stoner over like a matter of 3 months. And in that time, weed became my medium. Before I even started tapping into my gifts, before I started tapping into like my own healing journey and stuff like that, weed became the thing that stood in like that space for me. Weed was saint for me before saint was me, if that makes sense. And so um weed as a green healer specifically talks about, or weed as a green medium specifically talks about pain to progress and then progress to purpose. I started off as someone who doesn't smoke at all, to being someone who smokes a little bit, to being a complete stoner, to being a cultivator. And through that process, the same as me being like someone who kind of is just led to being someone who leads, as far as like my purpose here in the world and here on YouTube specifically, weed has been a significant part of that journey, and more so how it relates to my heart chakra. So I kind of wanted to delve into like the heart, I mean, I talked a little bit about the heart chakra, but like shades of green and relative healing. A lot of stoners, like, we go from smoking in groups to smoking by ourselves, and like smoking by yourself is a process within itself. I don't know about you, but it took me months to be able to like smoke a full blunt by myself and like be okay with that, and to be like, to be able to like actually process a whole blunt to myself. And the same thing goes for like healing. It took me a while to not have to attach other things to my healing before I could just like jump into my heart chakra and be able to be comfortable there, without having to feel the need to attach to other spaces. But then being comfortable there allowed me to do relative healing. So going from green to blue. So I think of that as from cannabis to shrooms, and being able to communicate, through my heart chakra, but also through other realms or in other dimensions that were far beyond, this 3D world. And then coming back to green and going from green to yellow, into the sacral chakra, which is like the center of each of our universes, and allowing that to be, going to like the thing you are, what you eat, weed being the one thing you ingest, but then like, you get the munchies and you start eating bullshit. So then it's like, okay, how can I use this to get me on a healthy, like a healthy diet, not for just like what I'm eating, but just what I'm allowing myself to process and ingest all the time overall. Even when I'm not high, even when I'm not smoking. And yeah, just really learning how to like allow your weed to be a portal to your heart chakra, and then allowing that to be a portal to the rest of the areas in your body or the rest of the areas in your life that need healing. Yeah.
So listen, I love you.
I know that was a lot.
No, I'm not even talking about that. I kind of, I first off, I love what you said, and I'm happy that it's so thought out. And when you started this, I didn't know how this conversation would go, but I can only go with my immediate reaction. And we're gonna talk like, grown up women do. I feel like the way you look at it, and I could be wrong, and so correct me, but it seems as if the way you look at it when you say as a medium is you look at marijuana, and this is something that I don't want anyone to do when it comes to marijuana, because anything that you're dependent on has power over you. So I felt like when you were explaining this to me, it came off as, as the medium, as something that's a crutch when I don't want to do or be. That's how so that's what how I took it when you said that. I don't agree with that. Just by looking at your face.
That's not what I meant at all. I want. Okay, let me clarify that. So when I say allowing it to be, this kind of be that space for what you need, I mean like, not as a dependent user, but like, again, when you're doing, I don't know. I think of it from a psychoanalytic view. So like, for me, weed, I did at one point become dependent on weed, but then I started to realize that I wasn't doing anything with the weed. And that's what I mean by weed as a medium. So, okay, let's think about it like this. So, like, for those of y'all out there who watch tarot on YouTube, right? You can become obsessed, like to the point where you're watching so many videos where like you don't even know what your brain is anymore.
Yeah.
Like you're fucking fucked up as to like why you're even watching tarot. to
But
begin
you
with.
can't stop. But you can't stop. It's like I
So then
want
you get to
more.
a place where you're like, all right, well, this is for me. When I feel like
Mm,
I'm doing something too much, I'll go cold turkey. Like I'll
okay.
just be like, you know
Okay.
what?
Me
Fuck
too.
it. I'm not doing it no more.
Yeah.
And then I'll start to, the more I start to ache for it, I start to think like, okay, why do I want this? What is triggering me?
Yep.
So when I say weed as a medium, I think of it as like a way, like a conduit to understand where your triggers are and
Mhm.
why why you're being triggered and how you're being triggered, not because you're depending on the weed, but because you can see that on, like, when you're smoking weed, on the weed, when you're
Fucking old lady. You own that weed, girl. What the fuck?
when you're smoking weed, there are things that you see that you can do or that you're capable of doing. So it's like, okay, if I'm capable of doing these things while high, then I must be capable of doing these things sober. And
Mhm.
so allowing it to be like, think of, like, yourself as point A, the weed is, I'll say, point C, and then C, or not even point C, weed as point like G, F, H, and then seeing like in between, going from A to H or J or I or K or whatever it is for you. Because I won't even go there. And seeing, like, what stops are you making before you even get to the weed? Like, what are you saying to yourself before you call your weed man? What are you saying to yourself while you're rolling your blunt? What are you thinking
I
of before you even,
can't
like,
yeah.
what are you thinking of when you even think
Mm.
to be like, okay, it's time for me to smoke? You get what I'm saying? So less of using it as like a automatic go-to, even if that's how you start out, allowing it to be a process for healing, allowing it to be, seeing weed as a journey, excuse me, rather than a destination. Not seeing it as something to depend on, but something to, I don't even want to say collaborate with. Allowing it,
I like that though. I would say to collaborate with. I
yeah, I
like.
was gonna say, allowing it to be a teacher, and you
Mm.
be the student. You can't depend on your teacher, because at some point you have to surpass your teacher. You have to pass to the next grade, and your teacher is still going to be teaching this
Mm.
same grade in this same class on this same subject. But how do you allow yourself to stop being remedial? Allowing weed to be a indicator of, okay, there's all of these things in between the weed and me that are blockages. Allowing weed to show you what are your blockages. What are
Mm.
your blockages? And then seeing, okay, if the weed itself might be a blockage.
Hello, somebody. Hello,
Just
somebody.
like,
Please. The
masturbation might
weed
be a
itself
blockage.
might be a blockage, and that's the thing too. So as I've gone on my journey, like I tell people all the time, and people get so confused, and I don't care to correct them because I smoke so much. I'm a pothead. You know what I'm saying? But at certain times that I don't smoke, not because I can't, not because I think that weed
I,
makes you
I
dumb.
haven't, quick plug, I haven't smoked in a month. That's why I'm like drinking my infused tequila, because I'm actually on one of those journeys right now to where, like,
Okay, and that's real. So like I take little times where I just don't smoke, because maybe I have something to get done, and I know how I am. Like I am a ball of energy. Like anybody who knows me, like this is me. I've been drinking and smoking, and I probably got more energy than the average human at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. So like not sober, just I mean not high or on with anything. Imagine how much energy I have, so I can get a lot more done. So whenever I want a highball, I don't do drugs.
right.
I am a natural highball. Like I'm a natural, the 8 ball that they be talking about, the coke in or whatever. I'm like, that's me at 6 o'clock in the
I was
morning.
gonna say, that's me at 5 o'clock in the
Yeah,
morning.
yeah,
Like,
I'm
I'll wake up
saying.
in the middle of the night and be on one, like doing all types of
They be like, somebody get this bitch a blunt so she can calm the fuck down, you
No,
know?
seriously.
Yeah, for real. Like, so cause she got too much energy. So I don't even know how I got there or what I was going, where I was going, but
Let's see.
okay, let's see pothead shit. All
Oh,
right.
use it like, what did you were saying, like, not smoking, basically,
Oh,
like,
oh yeah. So but I don't know where I was going with that. I lost it.
I don't know.
The moral to the story is, I think you should be able to not like you should be able to quit at any time that you want to.
Yeah.
Just and I, you said something, maybe weed is the problem. You have to be so honest with yourself. You could say, this is the problem. And what do you do when you realize it is the problem? So one thing, that's one. I'm a huge weed advocate. Like, but I'm also I'm also in the same sense. I just don't want people to be dependent on it because I
Yeah,
suffer from
same.
anxiety.
I was gonna
You
say
know,
I come from an addicted. I have an addictive
addictive
trait.
personality. Yep.
So I have an addictive personality. So like I know I've come to learn from using harder drugs, like
Mhm.
not crack or heroin or meth or no shit like that. No offense to nobody else, but I was a pill popper at one point. So
Okay.
like, I've come to learn the hard way the difference between like being a recreational consumer and then being a dependent consumer. Like
Uh,
literally being like, I can't function if I'm not smoking.
and so people get me confused because I smoke so much they think I'm a dependent user. Nah, I am so comfortable with who I am. I smoke all the fuck I want to every day, all day if I want to. Because in the
To
same
the point where
vein,
it doesn't interfere with
yeah, and
what you're doing.
because in the same vein, I could just stop whenever I want to. I could literally just be like, "Nah, I got some shit to do." But if I don't, like, why rob myself of this pleasure because of your social judgments? Fuck you.
Right.
You gonna be miserable. I'm gonna smoke this blunt. And
Right.
you were talking about how it took you a while to smoke a blunt by yourself. Listen, oh, see, look at God. With that being said, listen, she said we be high. Could remember this without your help. I can do so. I do not listen. What's popping, y'all? I don't know what Valentine went, but when the getting get good, the internet always fucking kick us off. So there's that. Make sure y'all check out. Y'all make sure y'all check out Saint Valentine. Listen, it hates us.
Okay, I'm back. My
Hey,
laptop just died on me.
yeah. Came back super quick, like she said, network breakdown, energy high vibes. Our energy was too high. They had to cut us off. It was getting too
I'm like,
good.
oh, somebody's hating.
These hoes mad. We on this bitch talking real shit. But I don't know. I was going on a tangent, but listen. So okay, so you said it's how many blunts do you feel guilty about smoking blunts by yourself now?
No. I'll go buy a whole pack of backwoods and get like a quarter and just roll everything up. And it's just smoke until I'm like, yeah, all right, I can't even smoke no more, bro. Like, I'm
Listen,
too
I
high
do.
now. I gotta chill. I gotta come down a little bit.
Nah, I just like when I do that shit, I just masturbate all the time and my hand be tired. I'll be like, I'll smoke until I'm horny as can get, rub one out, wake up, and then masturbate again. Yeah.
I'm that person. I'm the I need some milk type of person. So like if I feel too high, like where I feel like I can't
Yeah.
function, or like I feel like the weed is smoking me, I'll dead ass go drink some milk.
Let
Or
me tell
like
you something. I never
like
heard,
I need to come down.
I
Like
never heard that before. I was in Louisiana not too long ago and I was fucked up. When I say I was stumbling out the motherfucking hotel restaurant, the people say because I dropped my food on the ground. The man say she needs some milk. I was like,
I'm that person. Like, yeah, I need some
She
milk.
needs some
I
milk.
need some dairy, something. Give me some cheese. I'm a big cheese lover. So I'll be like, look, I need to eat some cheese. I need to like, but with that being said, like, I don't know. Being a smoker has made me so intentional about everything. Like, I know somebody said it earlier in the chat, but like intentional about smoking, even like being more intentional about like what I eat when I smoke. Like I said, like allowing it to be like a way to like kind of fix your own diet and figure out, okay, what are my cravings? What are
Mm,
my desires? What are these things that
mm.
in these different spaces, why do I want these things? Like, why do I want them so bad? And then it always brings me back to, well, what did I smoke for? What did I actually sit here and smoke for? Like, was it to get something done? And like, I started to realize, like, I started to learn, like, okay, when I'm really trying to do something, like, even at first when I was learning tarot, I would smoke to channel.
Mm.
It was hard for me to channel messages initially
Mm.
without being high. But
Mm.
then it got to a certain point where like it would get so frustrating for me that I would like smoke and then end up not
Mm.
fucking channeling anything, or
Mm.
like just being so high where everything felt kind of blocked. So then it's like, okay, I see there's a goal in mind. I'm trying to channel, and I feel like I can only channel with the weed, but now the weed is becoming a blockage. So now I have to learn how to channel
What?
without the weed. Like
Mm.
and you know, now I'm at a point where like I haven't smoked in a month, and like I'm like busting out readings, busting out readings, busting out readings, busting out readings like nonstop. And actually, if you want to check out my daily collective messages, you can do that on my YouTube as Saint Sight. So it's just like that, Saint with an SYT, Saint Sight. Um,
I'm trying to point to it.
yeah,
You're fucking up. Look. Oh damn. This is harder
I'm gonna
than
put it
it.
right here. It's in the chat. Yep.
That part.
There we go. Right there. Um. So and again, like just the process of being like becoming a stoner, because that's a process within itself, becoming
Mm-hmm.
a stoner, allowing that process to be like, what is it, replicated or repeated, just the same thing with like manifestation or anything else that we do, learning the process of a thing, how you got from point A to point B, and then figuring out, okay, once I up this up a level, you get what I'm saying. Even with shrooms too, like that's been a process on its own. Like
And I don't know that I'll ever do shrooms. Like I don't know if I'll ever do anything other than weed. Like I'm just
see,
my
I'm a microdoser. I don't like, my first time tripping was tripping. And so from then on, all I did was like I'll only microdose. Like I'll either get one of those chocolate bars
my
or like
sister.
make
Yeah,
the
told me about
chocolate bar myself,
that.
like buy shrooms and make the chocolate bar myself, and I'll eat one piece every 3 days. And allow that to be, or every 2 days. And just like it's a lot though. Like it's not, I won't say it's like mentally a lot, but like if you're not willing to just like be on a the nonstop healing train,
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I
I
wouldn't say do it.
got off that train. I'm good. So I took another route. Like I'm good. I'm good. I'm
Yeah,
good. I'm good. Yeah, I'm good.
I like shrooms. I actually prefer shrooms now. I haven't done them in a really long time, but I think the fact that I haven't smoked in a while is me transitioning like back to shrooms
Mm,
in a weird way. You know, obviously smoking occasionally, but I actually enjoy that when you like don't smoke for a while and then you
mm.
smoke again and it's like, oh fuck,
Um, I'm I'm back.
I'm high.
Yes.
Off like 2 pulls and you're like, oh
Yes.
shit, it's real.
That part. That's
I
a good thing. So one of the things you said earlier, and I wanted to just briefly touch on that, and we can move over to the philosophical pontifications. If you don't have anything else about the happy green medium, that's weed.
knew.
Um, one of the things, and I wonder if all young mystics go through this. Um, when I first started reading, I used to drink to see if I could channel. Like when I would read, and I'm pretty sure the messages were because I was just exploring. Like even I would pull cards instead of shuffle cards, just different things. But the drinking didn't do nothing for me. I'm right. Like now, it's annoying. I can't turn it off. Like I have to smoke to probably turn it off. So that's the ironic thing. Like like to allow myself to really relax. So,
Yeah.
and that's another thing I want to talk to you about. Like, I use weed to, if we're talking about the medium that I use weed for, I use it to relax. I don't use it for nothing else. Like, I don't want to think when I want some weed that's gonna help me not think. I think a lot. I think too much all day, every day. I don't a lot. So my medium for weed is it's an aid to help me just relieve stress. And I also have anxiety. Like, but I'm not dependent on it. So to me, I think a weed is like a glass of wine. Um,
Okay.
and I just drink my glass of wine all day because I can.
So for me, when it comes to, what was I trying to say? Um okay, so I'm like the opposite. I used to actually have really bad panic attacks, and weed would help me calm down, but it will also slow down. I saw that it would just slow things down for me, if that makes sense. Like, because like I said, I have Gemini brain, Mars and Venus in Gemini. So when I need to process, like I use it as a processor.
Okay.
So it's like instead of me being like instead of me being on hyperdrive on an i3 processor for any of the like IT geeks out there, it's like me processing weed is like me processing on an i7 processor.
Okay.
And so like instead of it just being like instead of it just looking like cold, it's like it's still the same format, but just like it's almost like I can control time when I'm high. So like at the rate that I'm processing things, I can easily better filter out, and even disseminate certain downloads and things like that. So like because thinking is like my favorite thing to do. If I find that I'm not like thinking, I feel like, oh my god, I'm wasting my time.
As you get older, I pray that change. Listen, so it's so funny.
I feel like it's the Gemini brain. Like my brain is just always just like I'm always thinking about everything.
I'm me too, but so I'm the opposite though. So when I smoke, like instead of you say, so you go from an i3 to an i7, I go from an i7 to an
i3. Okay.
And it's intentional, and I know that I'm functioning, and I enjoy.
Wait, what's your sun sign?
I'm a Leo.
Okay, your Mercury?
Virgo.
Okay, that makes sense. So like you're literally the details are just like in your face constantly.
That's it, all the time. Like I don't see the big picture first. All I see is the details.
So see, with my sun and my Mercury being in Cancer, it's like I know the water isn't gonna stop running, but it's just about like, am I gonna let it rush out? Is it gonna be a bath? Is it gonna be a shower? And like sober is like a shower to me, or like a waterfall. I always describe myself as like a waterfall leading into like a Congo Rapids. So like it's like it doesn't slow down. It just gets worse, And so with the weed, it's like a waterfall into like a lazy river. So like the water's still there, but it's just like
still powerful, but it's
there's
something beautiful, but it's turning into something that's
right. There's still a current, but like it's able to be like enjoyed in like enjoying the longevity of it rather than just like it,
never would have made it. Never would have made it. That part. All right. So we running low on time. So this is the segment of the show that I like to call philosophical pontifications. Do you know what that is? I hope so. So what would
Ponderosa?
I should have got a Honda. Pontifications. So pontifications.
Elaborate for me.
So to pontificate. Okay, so essentially we're going to. The purpose of this is to talk intelligently about some ignorant shit just because we can.
Yes.
Pontificate is to essentially elaborate, to speak in a highly intelligent way on a subject, a specifically chosen subject. So we're going to philosophically, just talk about things that made theories, talk about things in an arrogant, snooty ass way because we fucking can.
Got it.
So if you could philosophically pontificate about one thing, what would it be? Some shit you want to talk about in the most Kanye attitude ever.
Damn.
She's stressed out, y'all. Look at her.
Because there's so many things popping into my brain. Which one do I choose? I don't don't know. I really don't know.
How she don't fucking know? Listen, I don't understand what's going on right now. Send help, Mayday. I'm about to go get my food and eat while
Hold
you.
up. All right. How about this? I'm about to see. I'm about to shuffle, and I'm about to see what card fall out, and then I'm gonna see whatever come from that card. That's what I'm gonna do.
Head ass. Whatever come from that car, head ass.
Okay, the magician came out.
Damn.
So I guess magic.
Let's talk
Oh,
about magic, bitch. I love talking about magic. We can blow some brains with magic. I love magic. Let's go.
let's talk about magic. So I'd say that magic is an essential part of living, and specifically when it comes to understanding the devil. We
Oh,
talk about God, but we don't talk
really
about the
quickly.
devil often.
So you believe magic is real?
I do. I believe magic is the essential, the quintessential understanding of breath.
What, bitch? You gotta break that down for me. We in the day, girl. Let's talk about it.
So, we wonder, what is this thing that keeps our heart beating? What is this thing that is so grand, whether it be, a entity such as God, or a process such as breathing, or even blood circulating through our bodies, our life force energy. What is the thing that allows all of this to exist? Where does it come from? Who is it? How does it function? And I think quintessentially being like almost inevitable, but processed in a way that allows understanding and incorporates reasoning. Um Quintessentially, magic is the source of all things.
So what do you have to say about people who don't believe in magic but breathe every day?
I think that they're just
She was about to say stupid. But
I think that they're
ignorant.
ignorantly allowing blockages to create blood clots in their own magic.
Don't believe in magic.
I think that it's literally a way. It's like, how, like, you believe in something, but when you're really asked to believe in it, you realize you no longer believe in it.
Mm-hmm.
It's like that. Like, someone can ask you how you're breathing, and then it's like, God. Well, then what does God do?
Bitch, he help me breathe. That would be my answer. Like, we just
that's what I'm saying. Like, what is he use? Like, he's using something. If, like, we're down here using stuff, what is he using? What is she using? You get what I'm saying? And it's like magic. It's not the twinkle and the pull your rabbit out of a hat. Those are figurative images of magic.
Because small minds can't fathom what they think magic is, what they think magic look up. Well, that's what they think magic is pulling a rabbit out of a hat.
Like, it's just an ignorant understanding of life. Like, to think magic doesn't exist is to be mentally brain dead. Like, quite literally.
Quite literally. I think I'll have to agree with you on that. Like, it's so many, but you know what really gets me is, so my friends and my family hate this. My dad's a pastor, but I always go in on the Christians. I love you, Christians, because I have a Christian background. But the Christians who don't believe in magic, what the fuck kind of coke did you do this morning, bitch? How the fuck you don't believe in magic, but you mean to tell me you believe in this nigga that walked on fucking water? How to think you?
I was gonna say, what is a miracle then?
Doing, bitch?
What exactly is it? Please describe exactly what a miracle is.
You know what I'm saying?
Without saying the word magic. Please.
She said, please describe this without saying the word magic. That's how I be feeling. Like, what the fuck is going on? Help, Mayday. These motherfuckers nuts. Get me away from this nut ass nigga. That's how I be feeling.
Directly, Jesus was an alchemist. What do alchemists do? Make and create magic. Like, they learn how to manipulate energy to make magic. Like, what the fuck?
That's why the Christians be making me so mad. I be roasting their ass. I be like, you're fucking confused ass. You don't know what you believe. I'm going to hell because I do tarot and I can speak to God. But what the fuck you think your pastor do, bitch?
Like, I'm going to hell, but where are you now?
At least I'm having fun right now, bitch. Ah.
Like, where do you think you are now? Because if heaven's where you're going, you're gonna have a long journey getting there.
Your girl said, I know you are, but what am I, bitch? Like,
No, seriously though, and it's funny because for a long time I actually wouldn't pick up a Bible or look at a Bible. And if you ever talk to me, like people don't know that years ago I didn't believe in anything. Like I was a complete, don't even ask me that question. Like I was one of those people like don't even ask me that question. Don't even like mention God around me. And it led me like through college and stuff like that. That's a big reason why I got into psychoanalytics, because it opened my brain to allow myself, not even other people, but allowing myself to think about hey love, allowing myself to think about everything in a way that even if I feel like it offends me, at least I'm educating myself about these things. You get what I'm saying? And so I actually like recently I actually started really getting into the Bible. But from a psychoanalytic point of view, to where it's like I'm not taking these stories literally, because if I went to do that, I can just go to church and I can just let somebody else tell me, how to understand this book, but as a scholar, as a person, as a free thinker, why wouldn't I investigate this just like anything else? And find my own understanding, making it make sense to me, And it helped me learn that the Bible's full of magic. It's literally just a book of spells, a book of magic.
It tells you how to be an alchemist. It's like the alchemist hand me down book.
Literally.
To the next, if you could decipher what needs to be deciphered, if you could say what's there for fluff and what's not there for fluff, but only a real alchemist could use it and really see what's meant. It's like writing in secret ink that only the chosen can see.
And you can talk to some of the most religious people about like, a Bible scripture or a Bible verse or even like a whole chapter of the Bible, and they'll be like, no, that's not it. But it's like, I'm using the exact same material. I'm just giving you a different point of view. You like, what is hurting you about looking at it from a different point of view?
Because they be mad because they can't see what you see, but you can't see what I see because you ain't got the eyes that I got. So they be realizing when you step outside of their realm, they realize you're anointed, and a non-anointed motherfucker be mad at a fucking anointed motherfucker. So there's that.
Yeah, I've had people really shun me. They wouldn't even call me, say I'm going to hell. They'll just be like, what are you gonna say? Say it. Like you don't even know what you want to say.
I'm childish. I'll be like, now it looked like you got something on the tip of your tongue. Now what you had wanted to say? I heard you had something to say. I'm that anointed one. God, I don't know what the fuck God. He didn't dump sugar, spice, and everything nice. That nigga dumped some fucking New Orleans niggas and some fucking Gucci Mane and Beyonce in the fucking bucket when he made me.
I always think of like God is the drunk bum on the street. The nigga who tell you the shit that you don't want to hear, but it's like
why does this nigga make so much sense?
Exactly. Like, and you want to look at him in this one way, but like, no, I'm just like, yo, like
that part, he really is. For real.
If we were created in his image, why the fuck do you think he's like this, or she, depending on what you believe?
Why you think white men with long hair?
Because white men with long hair, like Neo from the Matrix.
Yeah, that's Jesus.
He's a fucking video game developer. Like,
same.
So then if you want to think about it that way, he's a manipulator. Now I'll be upset. Now I'll be mad. I don't know.
So you believe in magic, you believe it's real. I do as well. I don't. So I will say, like, just to pontificate on it, I tell a lot of people I don't fuck with magic. I don't do like. There's a lot of women who do spells. I believe all that shit work. I believe in all of that shit. They say it can't affect you unless you believe in it. I believe in it. So because I believe in it, I'm not around it. But I don't believe in like using I don't manipulating anybody's free will. I think you can. I honestly, truly think you can. But for why? Why would you want something that don't want you? What kind of you need some help? You miserable, bitch. You need
Man,
somebody to do a fucking spell on you, bitch. If you so miserable, the only way you could get what you want is to manipulate to get it.
right. I think of it like this. I always tell people, especially, and I talk about this all the time on my channel. I'm a believer. I'm not a worshiper. I have
Mhm.
guides. I have energy that protects me, that guides me, that educates me. And it doesn't require me to worship it, not one bit. All
Yep.
it requires is for me to continue to educate myself
Hmm.
and to continue growing and healing. It
Hmm.
for me to understand, like, just like if you call the bank and you ask them for money, they're gonna ask you for something in return.
Like the account number, bitch.
Exactly. So there's one thing to use magic, but there's another thing to be magic.
And that's the difference, bitch. I'm magic, so I don't gotta
I
use
am magic. I don't need
it.
to. That's crazy. I actually wrote that
That's
down
the difference,
earlier.
huh? I gotta put that
Um,
there is one thing to use magic.
I don't play with magic. I am magic. Like, and I think that's where
So
people.
because you don't play with magic, so because people shouldn't play with magic, bitch, don't play with us.
And yo, I actually talked about this earlier. Like, people need to stop speaking on things that they don't know anything about. Like, you know about it because it's a TikTok trend, or you hear your friends talking about crystals and tarot cards and all this other shit. But like, you have no idea what this thing really is. Just like people talking about God. Like, you sound just like these uber religious as people. Like, they talk about God, but do they really know who or what God is? You get what I'm
You
saying?
know all the words in the book and wouldn't know God if he slapped you in the face. If he asked you for
If he
some cash
walked
in the
it
corner.
literally, like, it's like you reject the thing that you're saying you accept so much, and it's because you actually are rejecting yourself and you're trying to use this outside thing instead of using it as a green medium, you're using it to poison yourself. You can't blame anyone else for being poisoned. So when your karma comes back to you and you don't realize why you're fucking killing yourself, quite literally, you can't blame it on the other people who are like blatantly talking about magic. You get what I'm saying? They're not putting spells on you. You're putting spells on yourself. What you put out comes back to you. What you sow,
Tenfold.
you reap what you sow.
And so I will say this. I implore this and I mean this, and I don't care how crazy I fucking sound, but I mean this when I say this. The only magic that I ever use and I will ever use is I put a protective shield over myself and my family. And I say, and my only prayer is, God, please return to sender whatever it is they send back to me. So if you send me 10 blessings 110 fold, guess what? It's coming back to you. You
Right.
send me hate, it's
It's
coming
coming
back.
right back to you.
You, the power is, I gave the power to you. The power is in your fucking hands. I just protected my peace and my sanity and my family. So
Right.
people be like, I don't believe in that psychic attack shit. Like the psychic attack, people sending spells. Can't nobody fucking send no fucking spell to your house. You nuts, bitch. You just horrible. You're a horrible person. And karma got your stupid ass. Ain't no fucking spells. But that's rude. Some people really believe that. I'm sorry.
I mean, and it just shows how where they're vibrating on the spectrum. That's what I'll say. If you vibrate high, you know that your auric field is golden. It,
Hmm.
you can't penetrate gold.
Hmm.
It's automatically going to backfire. So
Yeah.
whatever you try to throw at the gold is going to smack you back in the face. Like you said, if you throw water in the air, love in the air, you will experience an abundance of rain, an abundance of downpour. But if you're throwing rocks in the fucking air,
In the head when the fucking rocks fall back down.
go ahead and hide your hands if you want to.
And then be mad because the rocks, be mad at the world because the rocks that you threw up did knock you the fuck out.
Good luck. Good fucking luck. Welcome to the beach. Welcome to the beach. I don't know. I think, again, like we were talking about earlier, like people use, like, the same way weed, you can either use it to help, or you can use it to help yourself, or you can use it to hurt yourself. Just like anything else in the world. Anything else. Like, I think of everything as like, this world is full of schools of thought or cults. And you choose whether you want to subscribe to someone else's cult, or if you're going to create a cult of your own.
That part. And what I realize is people, like, I have, You can't nobody. I used to subscribe to everybody else cult, and then I used to get in their cult, and they hated who I was. So I used to try to not be that shit, and I was miserable. Bitch, I got my own cult, and you know what? Nobody's invited. I
That
don't. I don't want to come to yours, and you don't have to come to mine.
right, and just like any other cult, if you want to come over here, understand that there's rules. Like I always tell people, if I ever had an island, understand what you're getting yourself into when you come to my island. Because if you think that you're gonna leave this island and try to go to somebody else's island and give away the secrets from my island, I am going to. It's a word. Yeah, that. Just know, it's gonna be a sojourn. It's gonna be a Harriet Tubman. There's gonna be a Turner, a Harriet Tubman moment for you. Shotgun.
Your girl, you're gonna have to escape, bitch, in the heat of the night. That's the only way you get off that bitch alive.
You won't be reporting me back to massa. No way, no, thank you. You're not gonna make it there, unfortunately. You should have knew what you were getting yourself into.
Before you came on this island, I told you what it was. You had a choice to be here or not. You chose to be here. So
those are the consequences of your actions.
Thing. So if I want to pontificate, I want to pontificate about people not taking, like, nobody. The world is the way it is because people don't take consequence. Like, they don't really feel the consequence of their actions. They are evaded by drugs, by entitlement, by privilege, by the cover of love. Like the one thing that people don't understand.
Love and other drugs. Literally, somebody said it. Everything is a form of drugs. And I always say love and other drugs. Everything is a drug.
Yes, everything is a drug, and people don't get that. So I feel like if people really had to deal with the consequences of their actions, life would be so much more different. And I can say that because I was an enabler. I was a person who didn't allow people to deal with the consequences of their actions, but I learned by not allowing people to deal with the consequences of their actions, it was actually doing them a disservice. So you have to sometimes let the people you love hurt themselves. So because if they don't, they won't ever, like, if you don't ever,
it'll always be your fault.
It'll always be my fault. If every time you touch the fire and you touch the hot stove, I get burned, you're gonna keep touching that bitch. But if you touch that bitch and burn your fucking hand off one day, you might not have a fucking hand, but I swear to God, you'll never touch that fire again.
And you'll make sure to tell somebody else, don't touch. Each one teach one. Don't touch that fire. You see what ain't here, right?
But that's the consequence of your action, and it's something that sounds so silly, but it's a consequence. Even something as small as people, like, if you say something crazy to me, like, I'm gonna cut you the fuck out. That was the consequence of your action. If you roll up on the wrong motherfucker and you talk crazy to him, you might get popped. That was a consequence of your action. And people be like, well, that was out of no, because you knew that this person was liable to pop you and you still walked up there, or you thought you could be reckless to anybody. You thought you could treat people any kind of fucking way. And you
thought you was God without knowing who God is or what God is.
God was like, I give life and I take it away.
You thought you knew.
So I think that we should definitely hold people accountable more. It's hard to hold people accountable, especially the people we love. But if we don't, then we're really, really, really doing them a disservice. We really don't love them if we continue to allow them to not face the consequences of that. So.
And I think we talked about this before too, like adapting, like society really shuns this, but like learning how to tap into your sociopathic tendencies.
Yeah, I know. I told somebody that
it's fuck.
Let me tell you, I had
because
a friend.
It's the number one rule of survival. So self-preservation. Like,
when she say your sociopathic tendencies, let me say this to like your shadow side, whatever. I told somebody, I was like, I told him, I said, look, I got sociopathic tendencies. He was like, I don't want to be your friend no more. I say, anybody who can't tell you that they had them type of tendencies, you shouldn't want to be their friend. And if you say you don't got them, I don't want to be your friend. Because that means you're not a star player. Yeah.
You don't know who you are. You have no idea who you are. You'd rather see yourself how other people see you than being able to see who you like it, rather than being able to look in the mirror. And if you can't look in the mirror, I can't trust you to be truthful with me. You don't love me. You can't. You don't love yourself.
You don't love yourself, and people don't understand it. You can't love me because you don't love yourself, and that'd be the problem. Major fucking killer. You wanna know why that nigga don't love you? Because he don't love his fucking self. You wanna know why that bitch don't love you? Because she don't love her fucking self. And if you wondering why somebody don't love you, guess what? You don't love your fucking self either.
If you can't love the beast in me, then you don't deserve the angel either.
Hello? Because I'm a monster, but the angel just as sweet as the monster. Hello?
Because really, the beast is nicer than the angel.
In real life,
The beast is far kinder than the angel is. The angel is just good at disguising it.
yeah, absolutely, because it's the angel. I don't want to scare you away.
You know?
All right. So we rolling up on an hour and 4 minutes. All right. So this is the portion of the show where I just, if you like, what if you could just give some advice to people, if you give anything to anybody just right now, wherever you pull it from, whether it be cars, your energy, your space, just some good Saint Valentine love, some Saint Valentine hope, what would it be?
I would say we kind of already got it. Talked about it, but figure out who the beast is inside of you.
Ooh, figure out who the beast is inside of you, my friend.
And first learn to be able to face it, look at
Nourish it. Yeah,
it.
take care.
Literally just be able to look at it. But fuck nourishing it or even loving it. Learn to
Mm,
look at it. If you
mm,
see monsters in your room, find a way to be in the room in the dark with the monsters and not be scared shitless.
mm-hmm,
And you'll see that the monster isn't that bad.
mm-hmm.
If you're watching this video, if you're listening to me right now, look in the mirror. If you can't sit in the mirror and just stare at yourself, and this might trip you the fuck out actually, because the first time I did this, it was trippy as fuck. If you can't look at yourself in the mirror for 30 seconds, and I'm sure some of you have heard this before, learn to do that. Practice that. Practice looking at yourself in the mirror. Quiet. No music playing. No nothing. Looking in the mirror, quiet, sober. And see how much you love yourself.
And make me want to touch myself when I do that. Tosh.
I like to masturbate in the mirror. That's my
so I'd be like, I'd be like, stop, girl. That'd be my monster. It'd be like, touch yourself. I'll be like,
no, seriously. Even fighting that, like that shit is crazy. Like when you find yourself fighting the urge to like masturbate, it's like, why am I trying to stop myself? Like, why don't I?
Like, why do I think this is bad? Like, I'd be like, nothing's wrong with this. You know?
At some point, I used to think people were watching me. Like, I would feel like people were watching me. And so I wouldn't want to do it.
I would pray people watching me. I give them a show. Like, I hope somebody sees this.
Yeah, I grew to that too. I like an audience.
You know? All right. You got anything else for the people before we head out tonight, love?
Subscribe to my YouTube channel at Saint Sight. Follow me on Twitter at Crown of Starshine, but take out all of the vowels. My link tree is actually in the description. I mean, not the description box, but I'll post it in the chat again. Just posted it in the chat. Follow me on Instagram at Saint Valentine. Is right there. It's Saint Vtine. And magic is real. if anybody has ever told you otherwise, they're lying to you and they want to control you. So either you're gonna learn to control, or you're gonna be controlled. There's only two options.
I say we can do both. Listen, let me control you and you control me.
Balance and duality is key.
Major key alerts, guys. Man, I appreciate you so much, love, for hopping on here with me. We'll definitely have to do this again.
Thanks for having me.
Tuning into episode 7 of fucking Potheads. I'm here with my beautiful fairy goddess, Saint Valentine Taj.
Please don't call me goddess. I'm a deity.
Oh, she said the deity. She said, bitch, please don't underrank me, bitch. Forgive me my pranks. With the deity, Taj, Saint Valentine. Y'all make sure y'all like, share, and subscribe. Make sure y'all follow this beautiful angel deity. And we out this bitch. See you next episode. Bye.